Hello, welcome aboard. Just shut all this down. Oh, stay still. Hello, welcome aboard. I turned. Okay, so if you've just joined from the previous live stream, if you've just watched the previous bit, you'll hopefully have had a good time. We talked a little bit about my new Patreon, and of course, if you want to ask me any more questions about that today, then please feel free. But as is tradition, after the main portion of the live stream, I like to do a little bit of a Q&A. So that's what we're going to do now. We'll keep it going for half an hour, maybe an hour, depends how many people we get. But it's nice to round things off with a little bit of Q&A. So that's what we're here for. If you want to ask me any questions, then go ahead. I also might do a room tour. Sorry, I mentioned in the other live stream that I might do a room tour. So if people want to see a room tour, then let me know and I might do that. What's my favourite drink? Asks Jaden. My favourite drink is Irn-Bru. I'm not drinking Irn-Bru today, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper, but my favourite soft drink is Irn-Bru. I love Dr. Pepper. Yeah, Dr. Pepper's good. I do like Dr. Pepper. It's definitely up there, but not quite the top of the list for me. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I need to let you know about? Are there any... I don't think there's really any updates from last time. If you came to last week's stream on Wednesday, I did coins. I talked about my coin collection. There was supposed to be a stream on Friday. You might have noticed it didn't happen. My sister came round for dinner, so had to cancel that stream. But we had a great time. She brought my nephew around. He's 2 years old. We had a lot of fun. But that's why there was no stream on Friday because of a family engagement. But I did, as I say, finish sorting out the coins that we started doing in the last stream. I might show you that in a moment if you want to see it. But a couple of questions are coming in, so let's get straight into it and answer some of them. BHS says, "Do I date men or women? Lovely dress colour too." Thank you for the compliment. I like wearing dresses that are like one solid colour, like primary colours especially. And this is definitely one of my favourites. Do I date men or women? At the moment, I don't date anyone, but I'm open to both. Marley asks, "Does my sister agree with me?" She does. My sister, I actually have two brothers and two sisters, and this sister, the one who has my nephew, she's the first sibling that I came out to, and she was really great about it. When I actually came out to her, I took a photo of myself, like dressed like this, and instead of telling her, I just came up to her and said, "Look, there's something that you need to know," and I just showed her the selfie that I'd taken of myself, and she started crying, and we had a hug. It was a very wholesome family moment. And yeah, she's been one of my biggest supporters. We're very close in age. She's only 1 year younger than me, so she's helped me a lot in my transition. She's helped me to buy more feminine clothes and makeup. We go shopping a lot and stuff like that. We've bonded a lot since I came out. Not that we weren't close. Like, I've always been very close to all of my siblings, but it was yeah, we've gotten a lot closer since. She was crying in happiness. Yeah, so it was they were happy tears. They were very much happy tears. All of my family have been incredibly supportive. Um, Most of them kind of knew as well. My parents definitely knew. My sister, I think she sort of had an inkling. So I don't think she was totally surprised. Um, I think she was just surprised with how sudden it was because I just came up to her and said, "Look, I've got something to tell you." I didn't like pre warn her or anything. It was just like, "Oh, I've got big news. I'm a woman." Um, but so she was a bit shocked, but very very good about it. Someone asked, "What about my other siblings?" My other siblings are also all very accepting. So they are. Two of them are no, one of them's 18 and the other two are 17. Um, so they're all they're all from I think a generally more accepting generation. I know people might disagree with that. There's also a lot of negativity in the younger generation towards trans people because of indoctrination, basically. But I think in general, younger people are more likely to understand it and be open and accepting of it. And yeah, my brothers and sisters, they've all been just incredible about it. They've all been really open and receptive to it and accepted me as their sister. Do my parents like me? Asks Lottie. Yeah, my parents are also very accepting. Uh, Again, I've got a mum and dad, and I've also got a stepmom who raised me for most of my life from the age of about 2. Uh, she was my dad's partner, so she's like a second mum to me. She was the first parent that I came out to, and then shortly after that, my dad, and then my mum. And they were all really great about it. They all kind of already knew. It was I kind of think they knew before I did, which is a strange. It's strange to imagine that someone could know something like that about you before you even know yourself. Um, but they all said like since you were young we always kind of knew that you might go in this direction, but we never said anything. They never pushed it. They never encouraged it or anything like that. They just let me figure it out by myself. But yeah, I think they kind of knew even before I did. Do I think I'd ever change my mind about it? Well, I guess it's kind of impossible to say, right? Because nobody knows what decisions they're going to make in future. Um, right now, I don't think that I would ever regret it. I'm very happy with who I am. I'm very happy with the choices that I've made. I'm very happy to be here today. I don't think I'd ever regret it. That's the important thing. Like even if I changed my mind, even if one day 10 years from now I realized, maybe I'm not transgender, that wouldn't mean that this experience was any less valid or that I regretted it in any way. I could not possibly regret how I'm living my life right now. I am really happy. So yeah, I think like I say, maybe one day things might change. Maybe one day I might realise that I was never trans at all, but I would never regret what I've been through so far. Hippo says it's a really big decision. I'm scared to get a tattoo. Yeah, it's the thing is it's a big decision, but it's made up of smaller decisions, right? Like you do it in steps. Like me, for instance, I am not on hormone therapy at the moment. I haven't got any plans to get surgery in the future. All I've really done is come out publicly and told people, sorry, told people I identify as a woman. I feel more comfortable this way. Um, I've changed the way that I dress, and that's pretty much it. So like in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of progress still to make. But that doesn't mean that the progress I haven't made so far hasn't been massive as well. Like it's just you have to take it step by step. People don't just one day say, "Oh, I'm trans. I'm going to go to the clinic and get boobs right this second." It doesn't work like that, you know. You do these things step by step. You make small changes that build up towards a bigger transition. Do I not have a woman's name? Yeah, I have the name Saul, which is my name, and I'm a woman, so therefore it's a woman's name. Saul is the name I was born with. It's the name that was chosen for me when I was born, and I really like that name, so when I came out, I decided to keep it. Can I say... Can I say hello, Daniel Boskov? He's from Albania. I don't know who that is. I hope you're not trying to bait me into shouting out some war criminal or something. But I guess, hello, Daniel Boskov. Albania's okay, I guess. I've never been. Glad to see comments aren't as bad today. Yeah, they're not doing too badly. Have I had any judgment in public? I hope not, but I know people are ignorant. So fortunately, not very much. I get looks in public. That's inevitable if you're a trans person in public, especially a trans person who doesn't necessarily pass, because there's this whole idea of passing, which, you know, whether we believe in that or not. Obviously, you can look at me and you can tell that I'm a trans person, right? So I get looked at in public a lot, but I've never been called out. I've never been shouted at in the street. I've never had anyone say anything negative to me. It's mostly just looks. Like, people have never dared to actually say anything, right? Which again, I think, you know, I come on TikTok and I see some of the comments that people leave, and compared to how people are in real life, is completely different. Like, because the anonymity of being online, obviously, people will say things that they wouldn't dare say in real life. And obviously, they'll come into the comments right now and say, I'd say something, but you wouldn't. Like, I know for a fact that you just wouldn't say anything if you saw me in real life, because you wouldn't have the bollocks, right? I mean, you know, to play into a popular stereotype about trans women, I think I've probably got more bollocks than you, because I have the bollocks to actually go out in public like this, and no one's ever said anything to me. Nobody actually would. You can say that you would, but I know in my heart of hearts that you would not. So Isaac says in a comment that has been hidden, I have bollocks and you don't. Well, unfortunately, I can't prove what I've got down there because it's against terms of service. But once again, the comments are now going to be filled with spam. Oh, I could tell. You keep believing that you would say something, right? But I know that you wouldn't. Let's leave it at that. People are way more tough when they're behind a screen. Absolutely. People just say so much shit that they wouldn't say in real life. Sorry for swearing, but they do. Put it in front of a group of year 10s. So I actually live quite near secondary school. I walk past it quite a lot. I've got, again, a lot of stares from school kids, from teenagers, from sixth formers, etc., etc. And still, again, only stares. No one's ever said anything. I see a lot of trans women in public recently. I think there's more and more of us. Yeah, I think not necessarily that more trans people exist, but that more trans people are comfortable to be out and about in public and be themselves, right? Because there is less of a stigma around it these days. Obviously, the media massively plays up trans people. You know, obviously, I'm a child predator and I'm out to get women and all this kind of stuff. You know, whatever else the media tries to say about me. But the reality is, trans people are just there, and most people in day-to-day life just don't care. They're indifferent to us. Yeah, massively overplayed in the media, but in real life, people just don't really care. They'll just let us go about our business. Spoonie says kids don't need to know this. I'm not telling this to kids. You might have noticed I said I walk past a school that's near me. I didn't say I go into the school and start indoctrinating children. I'm not a teacher. I don't go, I don't go in schools. I just happen to live near one and walk past it sometimes, which is not a crime. Cricket says, I wouldn't and would never any time, but some people are so crazy they would. I think occasionally people would. Again, I've been lucky enough that it's not happened to me. Um, Obviously, it does happen. I'm not denying that it doesn't happen to anyone ever because people have died, trans people have been killed for being trans, and that's a scary thing to think about, that I could go outside like this and all it takes is one person to say, you're trans, I hate you, stab. Um, it's a very real threat, but I try not to think about it. I try not to live in fear. And again, it could happen, but it hasn't happened yet. And I like to hope that it will continue to not happen. We can be teachers too. It's allowed. Yes, it is. I'd actually quite like to be a teacher. I think I have a natural affinity towards teaching. I've never taught kids before, but I did teach Japanese to university age students when I was at university. Um, I actually was president of the Japanese Language Society at my university for 2 years, and part of that role was teaching like conversational Japanese to people my age. Um, so I have experience of teaching adults, but not kids. But a lot of the skills are transferable, and I am quite good with kids. I've got younger family members who I communicate with a lot. So I think I could. I think I could be a teacher. I'm not, but it's something that I could see myself doing, and that I think I'd quite enjoy doing. Brooklyn says Tranu. Interesting way of getting around the censorship there. Thank you. Happy Pride Month. Hi, Rylan. Happy Pride Month. It's nearly the end of Pride Month. It's been a fantastic month for me. I've got something a little bit special planned for the last day of the month. I'm actually working on a slideshow where I'm going to take selfies wearing an outfit in each colour of the Pride flag. So I've got this blue today. My last live stream I wore orange. I've still got to wear red, green, purple and yellow. But I'm going to be doing that throughout the week and taking selfies each day. And then on the last day of the month, I'm going to do a slideshow with like all the colours of the rainbow in selfie form, which will be, I think, a nice way to round out Pride Month. Spoonie asks, am I going to transition? I have transitioned. Transition has many different subsets. There are many different ways to transition. So obviously I haven't medically transitioned, but I have socially transitioned. I am known to everyone around me as a woman. I go out in public as a woman. I have a woman's name. I'm currently in the process of changing my passport to say female on it. So in terms of like a social and legal transition, I'm more or less done. But medical transition is not something that I'm doing right now. It's something that I hope to be doing and will hope to start doing soon. But it's one of those things. I am going to go private with it because I don't want to be on the NHS waiting list for 7 years or maybe more. So it's just a case of saving up money to be able to afford to do it privately. But as soon as I have the ability to do that, it is definitely something that I want to do. Stella asks, do I ride a bike? Do you mean a motorbike or a pedal bike? Because the answer to both is no, but I do have a unicycle. Rylan says the pride idea is pretty cool. Do you mind if I steal it? No, not at all. Go for it. Maybe we could start a trend. If you wanna do it, go for it. There's only a few days left of the month though, so you better get in there quick. But I'm doing the colours of like the standard pride flag, so red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. I did debate about whether to do the progress pride flag, but that would be a few too many outfits. And I thought about doing the original Pride's flag with the pink stripe on top. But again, I thought the best thing to do was just go for like the quintessential Pride flag. with the 6 colours. So that's what I've gone for. Dr. Singh asks, what is my best handbag and makeup? My best handbag and make, sorry. So I only actually have 2 handbags. One of them is just for everyday use, and then one of them I bought specially to go with my bridesmaid outfit for my nan's wedding next month. I don't actually think it is like a name brand, actually. It wasn't very expensive. It was from a charity shop, but I'll go and grab it and we'll see what it says. Regan Powell says, bro is a bridesmaid. Yes, I am. My nan is getting married next month to her partner. They've been together for 35 years and they're finally tying the knot. And me, my 2 sisters and my stepmom have all been asked to be bridesmaids. We're all wearing baby blue. If you go to my channel right now and look at one of my most recent videos, I do a little showcase of the outfit so you can take a look at it for yourself. It's really cute. It's a really nice colour. And we were pretty much given free reign for the outfits as well. We were told, you know, it has to be this colour, but wear anything you want. And so I got something that I thought would look really good, and it does. But anyway, here's my handbag that you were asking about. Again, it doesn't actually have a label on it as far as I can see. It's not like a designer thing or anything like that. It's just a very simple, very simple bag, but it's a really nice colour. It goes with absolutely everything. So almost every outfit I wear, I have this handbag with me. And any outfit that it doesn't go with, I carry my purse instead. I'll go and grab that because that I really like. This is my purse. It's actually from Avon, this purse. I got it for Christmas last year. It's got really cool like firework patterns on it, really cool colours. And yeah, I love it. Any outfit, if I'm wearing an outfit that doesn't go well with the bag, then I'll just use my purse instead. But I won't carry both at the same time. But yeah, it's really cool, really cute purse. Like I say, got it for Christmas from my stepmom's partner, and he also got me a watch, which is really nice. But yeah, this goes with everything as well, really. And also, to be fair, like if when I say it goes with everything, if there's an outfit that, I mean, no, let me rephrase that. I don't think there's any such thing as something that doesn't go with something else, right? I think that everything goes with everything, right? The only thing that's stopping you is you, right? So, yeah, some people might see a certain outfit and think that doesn't go together, but, you know, it's not really up to them. If I say something goes, then it goes. And this goes with everything. Someone asked, what age did I turn transgender? So I came out as transgender in 2021, 3 years ago, almost exactly 3 years ago, because it was in July. I came out to my friends in July, my family in August, and I came out publicly in October. Dr. Singh asks, what is my job? At the moment, I am between jobs. My most recent job was as a graphic designer in a print shop, so designing graphics for leaflets, business cards, posters, that kind of thing. Really, really good job. A lot of work with like Adobe Suite and all that kind of stuff. It's not really my passion. I do like graphic design, but obviously I'm more leaning towards game design is what I want to be doing. But it was a good job. It was some great experience. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end because it was a little bit too far away for me to be commuting every day. I don't drive, and the buses around here are fairly unreliable. So I spoke to my boss. I said, look, is there any way that we could do this remotely? And unfortunately, it just wasn't a feasible thing to do. So unfortunately, that job had to come to an end. But it was really fun. Again, got some great experience from it. Again, graphic design is not my particular passion, but it's something that I enjoy and it's something that's very important. And when as I intend to take quite a holistic approach to game design, I want to do like the whole thing. Then graphic design is also an important part of that as well. So it's a good skill to have. Will asks, where am I from? I'm from Harrogate in North Yorkshire. I currently live in South Yorkshire. Haddy says, what did my parents say when they found out? They said something along the lines of, oh, you've only just figured that out. It's about time. That's what they said. They said it's about time. No, they didn't really say that, but they were really great about it, and they kind of already knew. So it wasn't that big of a shock to them, to be quite honest. Why is my arm so veiny? Because I'm underweight. That's why. Not by choice. I just naturally don't put on weight very easily. So I do have quite veiny arms, quite bony spine, etc., etc. It's not something I'm happy with, but I can't really change it. Like I say, I try to put on weight, it just doesn't go on. Some people say it's hard to lose, but for some it's hard to gain. Yeah, I think some people, they just have like a predetermined weight. Like, this is not a scientific theory at all, but I believe that some people, it's just hardwired in you. This is what weight you're going to be, and nothing you can do is ever going to change it. And yeah, like I say, I've tried to change it. I am underweight. Technically, I'm like about 2 kilograms below the safe weight for my height. It's not something I'm happy with, but it's also not something that I can change, even though I have tried many times. Like I say, I think some people, they just have a weight that their body has decided it's going to stay at forever. My granddad was the same. He was like the same weight for his entire adult life. It's just a thing. Some people just stay the same weight and they can't really do anything about it. How tall am I? I am 5'6", last time I checked. I think I'm probably as tall as I'm going to get. So probably still 5'6". But yeah. Just a bored guy asks, how did they already know? What were the signs? So the sign, right? When I say they already knew, what I mean is they didn't know that I was specifically trans, but they knew that I was queer, right? They knew that I was somewhere in the queer community. They thought I was probably gay, because I was quite feminine. I was very in touch with my femininity as a kid. I rejected quite a lot of masculine interests. So they suspected for a long time Saul's probably gay. So when I came out as trans, they were like, we were almost right. We got it half right. So yeah, they didn't know that I was trans specifically, but they knew that I wasn't a cis het man, right? They knew that there was something. They knew there was some queerness going on there. They just couldn't pin it down. Everyone except me knew, says Charlotte. Yeah, it was kind of a similar situation. Like I say, they didn't know I was trans specifically, but they knew something was up, even before I did. How old am I? Asked Jimmy. I'm 25. Curtis asks, do I believe in God? Me personally, I'm not religious. I do have religious family members, and obviously, I'm not opposed to religion. Growing up in the UK, obviously, most primary schools in the UK are quite religious focused, so I'm familiar with all the basics of Christianity. I know all the basic Bible stories and all that kind of stuff. I don't personally follow a religion, but I'm not against religion, right? You know, I'm not one of those atheists who thinks that all religious people are idiots and, you know, whatever else. If you have a religion, if you believe in a higher power, then that's totally fine. Again, I don't personally, but to each their own, right? No, none of us can know for definite, right? Like, you know, maybe God is real. Maybe when I die, there will be an afterlife, but I don't think there will be. Um, but I don't know. Again, nobody knows. So, you know, whatever you want to theorize, whatever you want to believe happens after, that's your prerogative. What religion are you? So again, I am an atheist. Um, I would like there to be a higher power, but I don't think there is. But again, I don't know. I could be wrong, which is why I'm open to religion in general. Nobody knows. Nobody knows for definite, right? So you think what you want to think. When am I going to ride my unicycle? When I am good enough at it. So the progress is still going strong. I'm getting better. I'm actually practicing at the minute doing launching myself without holding on to anything, which is quite hard to do. But when I first started, I was like holding on to a door. I was doing it in my back garden and I was holding on to the back door to like launch myself off from. But I'm trying to get out of the habit of that and learn how to launch myself from a standing start. So the progress on that is going pretty well. In terms of pure distance, my record still stands at 6 meters. It's not really going any further than that. But it takes time, right? It's one of those things, you know. It was never going to happen overnight. Found Me said no one asked this. Yes, they did. Just because you didn't see the question doesn't mean that the question wasn't asked. Darcy asks, what's my name? My name is Saul. Saul. Thanks for asking. Do I think Jesus was transgender / holy androgyne? So again, I don't know. I think, again, there's like, I believe there's evidence that Jesus was a real person. I could be wrong on that. But obviously, I don't believe that he was actually the Son of God. But again, if you believe that, then technically, yeah, he kind of would be, because he was born from an immaculate conception, right? Which means he wouldn't have sperm. There would be no male chromosomes from the father's side. So I guess if he did exist and he was the Son of God, technically he would be trans, yeah. Same with like Adam and Eve. Technically Eve would be trans as well, because she was literally made from a man's rib. Again, I don't believe in any of that stuff anyway, but if you do, it kind of seems like they would have been trans by today's definitions, right? Jaden asks, what are my pronouns? She, her. Thank you for asking. Spunkbubble74 says, do I stand to go to the toilet? I can stand. It's a bit unhygienic, so I try not to, but I have the capability of doing so, yes. Sir No Farah, how long have I had the illness for? I've had a cold for a few days now. I'm sorry if you can hear it coming through in my voice a little bit. I am a little bit blocked up there, so apologies for that. Sir No Farah, have I had surgery? No. Love your lip shade. What is it? I don't actually know the name of the shade, but I can give you the name of the brand. It's called Technic Matte Max. Technic Colour Max Matte, sorry. It's doesn't have the actual colour on it, so I don't know, but it's like a dark red kind of colour. It's really nice. Is that my real hair? Yes, this is my real hair. I've been growing it for about 3 years. It's down to boob length right now, as you can see. And that's about 3.5 years of growth, because last time I had it cut was about 6 months before I came out. And then when I came out, I decided that I just wasn't going to get cut anymore. And it's been growing for another 3 years since then. So about 3.5 years in total. Myra Ann Greenwood, do I like makeup? I don't really like or dislike makeup. I wear makeup. I like the way that it makes me look. Particularly, I have stubble for obvious reasons. I also get quite a lot of... I get a lot of redness around this part of my face, around the sides of my nose. So makeup, I wear makeup to cover that up and to give myself a sort of even complexion. But I don't really wear it in day-to-day life, to be honest. I only really wear it for recording videos and live streams and stuff like that. Because, I like to look my best when I'm doing stuff like this. But in day-to-day life, when I'm just about the house, I don't really bother wearing makeup. But again, same goes for cis women, right? Cis women wear makeup when they want to look their best, and in everyday life they tend not to, right? I can take it or leave it. Let's put it that way. Are they real? If you mean these are not real. These are padding, unfortunately. They will be real eventually, because I do intend to start HRT hopefully within the next year. But right now, no. There's nothing going on there. It's all flat. What do I use in my hair? It's so long. So I just use Head and Shoulders. That's all I do. I wash my hair with Head and Shoulders every now and then, like 2 or 3 times a week. I used to wash it once a day, but I'm trying to get out of the habit of that because it can actually do more harm than good. But when I do wash it, it's just Head and Shoulders. Head and Shoulders 2-in-1, shampoo and conditioner. That's it. That's literally all there is to it. Haddy says, do I go to the gym? Nope. So I do exercise, but I don't work out. I prefer to do exercise like bike riding, walking, that kind of stuff. So I think that's cardio. I'm not an expert, but I do that sort of exercise, but I don't do like lifting weights and that kind of stuff. Why have trans people labelled us straight people cis? Cis and straight mean 2 different things, actually. Am I into blokes or lasses? Yeah. What's A means ask me anything. Will I ever get pregnant? Who knows? With the wonders of medical science, maybe one day. I think we are genuinely getting quite close to that possibility. I don't think I'd like to be quite honest. I would like to have kids, but I don't think I'd like to give birth to them myself. I know enough about that to not really want it. But I do firmly believe that it will be possible for trans women to give birth within the next 20, 30 years. We are, surprisingly close to that being a reality. Where am I from? I'm from Harrogate in North Yorkshire. Lewis Hambleton, fatherless behaviour. I actually have a great relationship with my father. I went to see him on Saturday, actually. I go through every weekend, so I live in one village, and then most of my family live in the next village over. So I go through once a week, and I see my dad, my stepmom, my sister, all of the family. It's like just a regular weekly thing that we do, have a catch up and all that. It's good fun. What does my dad think of this? He supports me, plain and simple. So where would their eggs come from? The ovaries, the breast milk, how is it close? So again, I'm not a scientist, but scientists are working on womb transplants. That is something that is likely to be possible very soon. It is also possible that stem cells could allow trans women to actually produce their own eggs. You could actually produce eggs from a trans woman's DNA. So it would entirely be possible within the next few decades for a trans woman to get pregnant and give birth to a child. That's, you can spam wrong in the comments all you want. This is genuine research and science that is being done right now as we speak. It will be possible. It might take 10 years, it might take 50 years, but it will happen. Like that's a fact. It will be possible one day. And again, it might be soon, it might be further down the line, but it's something that will happen. Can I direct you to the research? You'll forgive me if I don't spend my time on this TikTok live looking up research papers for you. Go and have a look for yourself. I'm not an expert on it, but I'm sure if you do a bit of digging around, you'll find the evidence that you want. My parents must be so proud. Yes, they are. They're very proud. What football team do I support? I am not a football fan myself, but my dad supports Newcastle United. Someone's son? Nope. I am a daughter. My dad calls me his daughter. My mum calls me her daughter. My stepmom calls me her daughter. My grandparents call me their granddaughter. Everyone in the family treats me as a woman, which is how I identify. So, did I have this done on the NHS? I have not had any medical transition at all. I don't have hormones. I don't have surgery. So no, I haven't done any of this on the NHS, and I don't plan to. What are my pronouns? She and her. Thank you for asking. What you get surgery done, like all of it? I haven't had any surgery. I've already said I haven't had any surgery. What do I do for work? So as I've mentioned earlier, at the moment I don't work. My most recent job was a graphic designer in a print shop, designing posters, leaflets, business cards, that kind of thing. That was my most recent work, but I had to give it up because it was too far away for me to get there every day. Of course you don't work, says Chris Daniel. Yep, the second that I mention that I'm temporarily out of work, people come crawling out of the woodwork to accuse me of all kinds of things. Yes, right now, at this moment in time, I don't work. Okay? So call me whatever you want for that. Did I get sacked because I'm wrong? I didn't get sacked at all. I resigned. We came to a mutual agreement that it was too far for me to commute and it wasn't possible for me to do the work remotely, so it just had to come to an end. What did I do for work? Again, my most recent job was as a graphic designer. How do I afford stuff? Savings. I got paid from that job, right? So I saved money. Do I like history? I do like history. I'm not an expert in history, but I am interested in history, particularly my own history. The history of the UK, and global history in general. Japanese history, obviously, another interest of mine. As you are aware, I'm a bit of a fan of Japanese history and culture. Again, not an expert, but it's something that I enjoy. I say this about all of my hobbies. I make a full disclaimer about all the things that I'm interested in. I'm not an expert in any of these things. They're just things that I enjoy and that I know a bit about, right? I'm not an expert in trains. I'm not an expert in history. I'm not an expert in coins. I'm not an expert in birds. They're just things that I enjoy and I know a bit about. I don't think I'd really consider myself an expert in anything, to be quite honest. I know enough to get by. Definitely not an expert in biology. No, I'm not an expert in biology. But again, I know a little bit about biology, and I know that it's entirely possible for people to be born with neither XX or XY chromosomes. That's called intersex. I also know it's entirely possible for people with female chromosomes to have facial hair. It's entirely possible for people with male chromosomes to have breasts that lactate. All of these things are possible because biology is a spectrum. It's weird, it's strange. People can be born in so many different configurations. Biology is not, it's not a straight line and then there's one thing and then there's the other thing. There's a lot of blurring in the middle. So I'm not an expert in biology, but I do at least know that. Why don't other species do that then? They do. These are also common in various species. There are many animals that give birth to young that are neither male nor female. Google gynandromorphs, actually. There's this thing called a gynandromorph, which is where an animal is born and it's perfectly split with male on one side and female on the other side. It's very common in lobsters. If you've ever seen a lobster that's like perfectly black on one half and orange on the other half, that lobster is literally half male and half female, split down the middle. That's a real thing that happens in biology, in nature, right? So all of these clearly defined lines are really not clearly defined at all. Even in humans, in animals, in plants, across nature, nothing is as clear-cut as one thing and the other thing. But are we lobsters? No, we're not lobsters, which is why I talked earlier about people having XXX chromosomes or XXY chromosomes or other combinations of chromosomes that aren't normal. Again, no, we're not lobsters, but just like lobsters, we also have blurred lines between the two sexes. What's my favourite colour? My favourite colour is green. Thank you for asking. Are my ears pierced? No, I don't have any piercings. Biology is male-female, yep. So along, as always, it's always the people who say, oh, you don't know biology, who actually don't know biology. Again, I'm not an expert, but I know that biology is not a strict binary, and you would know that if you actually knew the biology that you claim to know. So let's leave it at that. Let's talk no more about biology because clearly your opinion isn't going to change. Can you become pregnant? I can't become pregnant, no. When did I become trans? In 2021, 3 years ago. Why can't I become pregnant? Because I don't have a womb or ovaries. And fun fact, some cis women don't have wombs or ovaries either, but they're still women. Another biology fact for you there. Would I want to become pregnant? No. Marcel says that's different. How? Please explain how that's different. How big the hands? I've got quite big hands. I play the piano, so it helps to have big hands with nice long fingers. So yeah, I do have big hands. Thank you for noticing. How big are the muscles? In comparison to the hands, not very big. Am I going to voice train? Yes. So I'm currently learning the basics of voice training. I haven't done any like actual training yet, but I'm learning all the important stuff about how it works and what parts of the mouth you need to move around and stuff like that. So yeah, at the moment I haven't done any actual. Well, I haven't done much training in my new voice, but I'm learning the basics of it. Can women be born without wombs? Yes, they can. It is entirely possible. Once again, I'm not here to lecture you on biology. I'm just here to tell you that things that you think are biological constants are not. Like, yes, it's possible for a woman to be born with no womb, with no ovaries, with no capability to produce eggs. It is possible for a person to be born like that and still be classified as a woman. It's entirely possible. How about an Adam's apple? Adam's apples, everybody has cartilage just here in their neck. For some people, it's more pronounced. Usually, people who are male have larger ones, while people who are female have smaller ones, but there are plenty of cis women with large Adam's apples. In fact, there are quite a lot of female supermodels who have prominent Adam's apples. So once again, it's something that when a trans woman has it, it's it's obvious that she's a man, but when a cis woman has it, that's fine. That's totally normal. Do I consider myself to be a woman? Yeah. You're not, you shouldn't. Well, I do. So, sorry. I'll take, yep. Again, don't really care. I know what I am, whether you know it or not. Well, you're literally not. Yeah, I am. No, you don't. Yeah, I am. Not cis. No, I'm a trans woman. And again, just variations of no, you aren't, no, you aren't, no, you aren't. Predictable, as ever. As soon as I say that I'm a certain thing, inevitably people will jump into the comments to start saying, no, you're not. But again, your words are meaningless to me because I know who I am. My family and friends know who I am. Legally, I am in the process of transitioning to a woman. I intend to get my birth certificate changed, my passport, my legal documents. So, yeah, once all that's done, I will legally, physically, mentally be a woman. So, again, you can come along and say that I'm not as much as you want, but it doesn't change the fact that I am. Is my hair real? Yes, this is my real hair. I've been growing for about 3 years. There you go. Good luck hiding your apple. I don't plan on hiding my apple. I'm not hiding it right now. I have a large Adam's apple and I'm happy with it. I don't really care about it. In fact, I've got a huge Adam's apple. Look, there's like a second part down here. So, like, really, really big Adam's apple. Which, again, I really couldn't care less about. It's just a part of my body that I have and I'm not ashamed to have. So, yeah. Okay, so we are coming up on 6 o'clock, which is normally when I end the stream. We've been going for nearly 3 hours now, so I am going to have to, unfortunately, go and do some other stuff. I'll keep going for another 5 minutes or so. If there's any last minute questions you want to get in, then please do. But I think we're pretty much done for today. I do want to say thank you all for coming along. It's been a pretty decent stream today. If you joined in the first part of the stream, you would have seen my Patreon talk, but just in case you didn't, I'll tell you a little bit more about it now. I have started a Patreon. If you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, then you can go and do that whenever you like. There's a link in my bio. It's $5 a month, which is about £4.50. And there's also a 7-day free trial. So if you want to try it out without paying, then you can do that as well. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm offering a Patreon. The benefits are basically behind the scenes exclusives and stuff like that. So if you want to see what goes into making my videos, the editing, the scripting and stuff like that, that's what you can expect to see over there. and also, of course, you'll be supporting me in doing what I do, for which I'll be very appreciative. And of course, you'll get a shout out here on TikTok as well during my live streams. So if that's something you want to do, if you're interested in supporting me, please go and do that. You will also notice on TikTok that it says I offer subscriptions. Please do not take a TikTok subscription. Do not subscribe to me on TikTok. I will not be offering any benefits to people who subscribe on TikTok. That is not something that I intended to do. That's not something that I want to do. Unfortunately, TikTok is very scummy about subscriptions, and like once you've set them up, you physically can't take them down again. So I'm asking you sincerely, please do not subscribe on TikTok. If you want to support me financially, please do it on Patreon. That's it. That's all for today's stream. So thank you once again. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've gotten a taste for what I'll be doing on Patreon, and I hope you've enjoyed this Q&A portion. I have another video coming tomorrow, and then my next live stream is going to be on Wednesday, where I'm actually hoping to play Minecraft. I'm still in the process of getting that set up, because for some bizarre reason, Minecraft Java Edition does not have controller support, which is very annoying. So I'm going to either have to use a mod to allow that to happen, or I might just have to play Bedrock, which I'd rather not do because it's Bedrock. But you know, if it's what it takes, it's what it takes. But that's the plan for Wednesday. I will be hopefully streaming some Minecraft for you all. So please come along if you want to see that. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's stream. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for asking your questions. If your question didn't get answered, it was because either A, I didn't see it, B, it was inappropriate, or C, I just didn't feel like answering it. Sorry. You are allowed to ask me anything, of course, but that doesn't mean that I am obliged to answer everything. So yeah, if you asked a question that didn't get answered, tough. But I will see you in the next stream. Bye-bye.